Renewed hostile actions against United States ships on the high seas in the Gulf of Tonkin have today required me to order the military forces of the United States to take action in reply.
Dr. Martin Luther King, the apostle of nonviolence in the civil rights movement, has been shot to death in Memphis, Tennessee.
Senator Kennedy has been shot. Is that possible? He still has the gun. The gun is pointed at me right at this moment. Take a hold of his thumb and break it if you have to. We will run a full suicide. We have an explosion and we are defending and we agree. Let's try our best.
People calling themselves members of the Weather Underground last night planted bombs in federal office buildings in Washington and Oakland, California.
They took the babies out of the incubators and left the children to die on the cold floor.
Survivors of the USS Liberty are demanding a congressional investigation into what happened and acknowledgement that the Israeli Air Force bombed a U.S. intelligence Navy ship.
The death of bin Laden marks the most significant achievement to date in our nation's effort to defeat al-Qaeda.
The Taliban is taking responsibility for shooting down a U.S. helicopter. More than 30 people were killed, and there are reports this morning that most of them are U.S. Navy SEALs.
There may be a false flag incident where some ship goes down and you be used for the excuse to accelerate the next war.
If there's one thing that has unified Democrats and Republicans, and everybody in between, it's that we all hated the bank bailout.
The Department of Homeland Security is apparently on a huge ammo buying spree.
It comes out to like 1.6 billion rounds of ammunition.
Today, it is infinitely easier to kill 1 million people than to control 1 million people.
They estimated that they would have to eliminate 25 million people in these re-education centers. And when I say eliminate, I mean kill.
I'm here to warn people. You keep telling me to shut up. This isn't a game.
From the front lines of the information war, it's Alex Jones.
But again, ladies and gentlemen, right now, the media is focused in on Justin Bieber's, well, not his diaper pants, which we have a photo of. If you just search the term Justin Bieber diaper pants. No, the news is his DWI. And you can go up to places like drudgereport.com and see his Disney photo-style mugshot. And, I mean, he's smoking weed all day, charged with resisting arrest. What the bleep are you doing? Because he reportedly paid off the police to be his escort around Miami. Had police escort to strip club. But the good news is that Gallup poll reports 2/3 say federal government too big, too powerful. And, of course, they know you know that, so they're gearing up with Homeland Security to crush anybody that tries to stop their criminal takeover. Obama wants debt ceiling increased again in February. And remember, he said increasing the debt does not increase the debt. You can keep your doctor, and there will be no attempts to restrict any guns, not your handgun, not your rifle, not your shotgun. That's a firm pledge. That's very funny, actually. So we're going to be breaking down a lot of other information. Also, IRS, the New York Times reports on it, is targeting conservative group in Hollywood. And this is a very, very important article because when you go over it, I have been given unique perspectives into Hollywood that I don't think really most talk show hosts would ever have. In fact, I don't know of any talk show host on radio who actually, for whatever reason, have fallen into Hollywood in the entertainment industry the way I have. I never tried to go Hollywood. I never went Hollywood. But I have seen it from a bunch of different angles, whether it's Gary Busey or Charlie Sheen or Keanu Reeves or Woody Harrelson, the list goes on and on. Who's the Iron Man guy? I know him pretty good, but I remember his name. Robert Downey Jr., Winona Ryder. And those are people I can say their names. Yeah, I woke up Bruce Willis, but he's not really on record about that. But people could ask him if you want some time. The point is that you name it, they are listening to this show. They're not liberals. They're not conservatives. They are libertarian conspiracy theorists that question the official lie of the Matrix. Lawrence Fishburne. I mean, I could just keep going on and on. The people that I personally know or know people that know. But then you get people like Sean Penn. I mean, take Mike Judge. He's a listener. And I'm not bragging. It's just to show the influence of what you can do. And you never know how you're influencing people. he said some of this on air, but even more off air, because it is an incredible revelation that the King of the Hill characters, I'm a large part, a composite of. Part of me is in Dale Gribble and in Hank Hill, because he formulated King of the Hill watching Access Television and watching my show and other shows. Nobody knows really who he is, but he's a local libertarian talk show host. Jeff Davis. Jeff Davis is probably more King of the Hill than me. I mean, literally. No one knows who Jeff Davis is. I'm just telling you right now, that's where this comes from. And again, I'm telling you, you don't think you have power going and doing an Access TV show? You don't think you don't have power doing a local radio show? You don't think you're not affecting change? I was on the air in 95, 96, 97, and Mike Judge, who already had Beavis and Butthead and all these other hit movies and TV shows, was watching, and literally out of that culture and other composites, you got King of the Hill. And there's all the inside baseball on that as well. Every show he's ever had becomes basically a #1 hit. And obviously, I'm not going to say, you read these articles about pressure in Hollywood against libertarians or conservatives or people that are outside the, quote, socialist, communist, Democratic Party line. That's what's in this New York Times article, is that there's basically a secret 1,500-member right-wing libertarian group. They're really libertarians. I mean, look how Tom Selleck's career was basically axed when he was a top TV, top movie guy, just because he was pro-gun. I mean, these people sacrifice a lot. I know major illustrators and people that got a lot of their business cut just because they started criticizing Obama, even though they've been critical of Bush. In fact, I know a bunch of famous illustrators across the country who've told me, you know, off air and on air of what they went through just because they wanted to have their free speech. This is authoritarianism. And if the FBI was demonized for targeting real communists in the 50s and creating a blacklist, which is debatable, in my view, because of what a serious threat these people were, and they're romanticized by George Clooney and the rest of them. Meanwhile, they are running around literally trying to arrest and persecute and shut down pro-life groups, gun groups, Tea Party groups, listing us as terrorists. James Woods has said, because he's gone public, that he'll never work again. But he doesn't care. He's a guy that could have hit TV show after hit TV show. You know how much somebody like James Woods makes an episode on TV? $500,000 to $1 million for 2 days of work. And he gave it all up, folks, just to be able to criticize tyranny, just to be able to promote the Second Amendment, just to have his free speech. That's what you need to understand, is the reign of terror going on in Hollywood. And, I mean, everybody I talk to is like, no, there's a mafia with all the big producers and then their little coterie of minions. And then if you're not part of that, the George Clooney, Matt Damon, Sean Penn, usual suspects, you've got to literally hang out with them, kiss their butts, and give money to the Democrats, even if you're really a libertarian or conservative, or your shows don't get made, you don't get put on air, you don't get promoted. And then you've got to sit there with a team of writers, even if you're the creator of a show or whatever, and have them basically twist it and add their propaganda and their agenda into it, or you don't get on television. I mean, that's the big story about Hollywood entertainment that is exported worldwide and is this stinking cesspool cancer. Mark Cuban. I mean, this came out in the New York Times. I talked about it on air. I couldn't tell the whole story because I was told not to, and I honor my word until it came out in the New York Times. But, I mean, I've been there in the phone calls. When Mark Cuban was going to put out a film I was producing on 9/11 being a staged inside job on over 1,000 screens, he was going to, pay at first to, get it out there. It takes a lot of money to get it distributed, and was going to then sell DVDs and Blu-ray of it. And it wasn't about the money for somebody like him. He wanted that message to get out, but he also wanted to, make money on top of it. That's how you keep funding your operation. And literally the White House called him. This is Republicans doing this, along with the rest of Hollywood, and saying, we're going to put you in jail if you make that. And he just said, I'm sorry, I'm not going to, I can't do this now. They're going to put me in, they're going to try to set me up for stock stuff that I haven't even done. It's some $800,000 trade of a guy worth billions of dollars. And I'm not going to do it. And they still tried to put him in prison. You understand that, ladies and gentlemen? You understand how evil this system is? SEC persecutes Mark Cuban for relationship with loose change. Kurt Nemo, 2008. And then it later, again, came out in the New York Times that indeed that went on. So just to be fair, this can happen from the Republicans as well, but very rarely that I've seen it. Well, I mean, here's Lionel Chetwin threatened me in a bathroom when he was the head of President Bush's media commission. And they didn't ever try to bring any true patriot messages to TV. The Republicans are like a placeholder for the Democrats to people, so folks think there's an opposition. But just in the, just to be fair and bring up other subjects, it shows it's not just the Democrats, though they're about 90% of it. Chetwin came up and said, we're going to get you. We're going to take you out. And luckily, one of the assistants walked in to get us when I was going on this TV show with him and heard it. Because he had his lawyers threaten me. And I said, let's go to court, buddy. I got witnesses. Let's go. You came in there and did that. But, I mean, I'm just telling you, folks, that's how the real world works, okay? So stop being naive. We'll be right back.
The InfoWars crew absolutely loves coffee because we love being awake. And I am somewhat of a connoisseur of coffee. So many times you go to a restaurant or even to a coffee shop and the coffee tastes like garbage. And in all the different coffees I've tried, my favorite is grown in the high mountains, in shade, Arabica, on the border with Guatemala in southern Mexico by the Chiapas farmers. I make sure we've done the research. I make sure it's the very best product that we can offer you when I put my name on it. And I believe, and it's my taste, so you may differ, that this is the best coffee in the world from southern Mexico. Wake Up America Patriot Blend, 100% organic, Arabica shade grown. And then we have the Immune Support, 100% organic coffee, infused with a special type of mushroom known to boost the immunity.
This coffee is seriously so smooth. I normally have to douse my coffee with cream and sugar and cinnamon and all kinds of tasty treats, but this, I drink this black. It is so good.
Well, that's why I like it, is that it has a kick, it has really good caffeine in it, it has a good clean wake up that lasts for a long time, doesn't give me a headache, but it's so smooth, it's so delicious. Just try it out for yourself. I'm telling you, this is my favorite coffee. We went through a lot of trouble to bring you this. Just try it, and I think you'll be hooked like we are here at InfoWars. Well, folks, find out for yourself and support the information war today. It's all available at InfoWarsLife.com or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139.